In today's Kaizen Dental Success Stories podcast, we are going to interview Dr. Sai Kalyan about his journey in one of the least pursued options after BDS, that is, getting into research in dentistry. However, it is a field which is continuously blooming with a lot of research development related to dentistry happening in India right now. Dr. Sai Kalyan is an academician and a biomaterial research and is currently working as a director for research and academics at Privis Research Laboratory. He is also an adjunct faculty at the Terna Dental College and leads the Department of Regenerative Dentistry, along with which he is a member of the doctoral committee at the A.B. Shetty Dental College. He received his BDS, following which he completed his master's in conservative dentistry and endodontics. He also went on to do his PhD in endodontics with focus on nanobiomaterials. He is a certified lead auditor for quality management systems for medical devices and has been a key opinion leader for various medical device manufacturing companies. He has authored a book on regenerative endodontics and has several publications to his credit. His key research areas include regenerative strategies in the pulpal disease, endodontic biofilms and their disruption using PAD, nanomaterial science and their application as endodontic medicaments and dental biomaterials. Hi, Dr. Sai sir. It is really amazing that you've taken time for your schedule of researching everything in dentistry to coming here and guiding students in this path of research after BDS. Very few take the route you have taken. So, my first question in your entire journey is I saw a difference in your journey. You did BDS. Most of the
Mhm,
people soon after BDS get into MDS. But in your
mhm.
case, there was a gap where you did clinical practice and then you
Right,
decided to get into MDS. Why was
right.
that urge to get back into studying?
Ah, for this, you need to know me as a person, did my bachelor's in Dharwad, SDM at like 96 to 2001. Um, 5 years, okay, I wouldn't say I was a great student or something like that. I was an average student. I come from a very middle class family. Um, I had 5 years ball time in SDM. We didn't know, we were not focused. We didn't have people to tell us you have to do this, you have to do that. Kind of, oh, you have to get into MDS, otherwise there is nothing. Um, by the time I started thinking, I was in internship. The financial situation at that point of time was not great. Neither I was focused to get into MDS. But I used to love teaching a lot. I used to teach my friends, my juniors, my classmates. A lot of them keep saying, "Oh, good, all that undergraduate teaching came good. That's why you became an academician and you're doing this well," or something like that. So once I came out, I thought, what should I do? Because my situation is not great. Should I get into clinical practice or get back into academics? So I thought, okay, let me do what I'm good at. Joined a college in Bhimavaram called Vishnu Dental for a year. And what they used to pay me was good enough because internship we used to get 2,000 rupees a month. Here we were getting 7 or 8,000 rupees in 2001, which is good for my sustainability. But throughout my career, from that day till now on, I've always been happy and I've always been um, safe, and always been calm. I never rushed at things. I say, okay, let's take one at a time. So after Bhimvaram, then I thought, okay, I have to make a career change here. It's not going to work if I'm doing this for 7,000 for a period of time. So I shifted to Nepal for a year. I was working in hospitals which were WHO based or something like that. And then Nepal, it started getting a little uneasy there because of the issues they were going through in 2002, 3. Then I came back to India at a salary which was one fourth of what we were getting in
Nepal.
Nepal. Yeah. So in India, I joined Pravara in Loni. So they were paying good at that point of time. 2004, they were paying us 16,000 rupees, which A lot of people were not paying BDS people at that point of time. Uh, yes, that was a good move, because what all ideas we had as undergraduates and starting of the career, no, we could implement it in Pravra. We had a postgraduate department, and the postgraduates at that point of time were very nice. The mentality, the attitude of postgraduates have changed over the years. Uh, at that period of time, it was fantastic. We used to work as a team. Okay, I had some research experience in Nepal, so they would take some parts of it. I was good at doing statistical um, calculations using softwares, so I used to do it for them. And nice, I enjoyed my time there as well. No regrets on me doing academics till 2008. And lots of people, and my bosses were fantastic. Always have good mentors. I don't believe in these books, be like Steve Jobs, something like that. You can take motivation. You cannot take inspiration from something. My success story is my success story. Yours will be yours. Someone else's will be someone else's. You cannot emulate. You can take points from that. So I was like that. I never had an inspiration in my life. I always had motivational guys who I say, okay, they're doing well. So probably I have to do something like that, not follow their path.
Understood.
Um, so my bosses were like that. They were very motivational. So they kept telling me, why don't you do MDS? Why don't you do MDS? Saying, okay, the time will come, sir, time will come. So in 2008, I decided, okay, I'm not going any further with this BDS research. So let me jump to the next thing. Do MDS. It's not like my boss told me take perio or oral surgery. What will you do in endo? 6 years you've been doing endo, and he used to allow me to work in the postgraduate section. So what cases they were doing, we were also doing. So he said, "What will you do 3 years in endo?" I said, "No, sir. After BDS, when you're a staff, you're not focused. You're not doing certain type of cases. You do whatever comes your way. Okay, this case comes, take it. That case comes, take it. No documentation, no background reading. Okay, some scientific document I could collect because my HOD at that point of time used to say, "Oh, come attend seminars." That was a big sin that point of time, allowing BDS people to come and sit in seminars. But he was like that. Dr. Medgood was there, Dr. Shoaib was there. They were like that. Come sit in the seminars if you can grab something. So I used to read because if I sit in the MDA seminar, I should be contributing something to the discussion. I cannot sit like a dumbhead there. So uh, biomaterials has been my favorite all through. I had my difficulties during my undergraduation with dental materials. Oh, that made me a little stronger. So even if you talk to SDMites who passed during that period, they'll say, "Oh, this guy knew dental materials because I had to do it twice." So that thing, I thought, okay, let me take MDS, let me be focused on it. Again, I didn't have that kind of money to pull in to pay my postgrad fees also, because all the time I was never accumulating money. I was rather enjoying my salaries, going here, traveling. I love traveling, meeting people, talking to them. So Pravara said, okay, we'll take you as an in-service candidate. So you need not pay the hefty fee. You can work for us. I said, okay, no, that's good. You got your MDS through the Pravara entrance, and now they're saying that you're going to be a in-service candidate. So less fees, not zero, but less fees, which was manageable by me. So I got into MDS. That I don't say it changed my life a lot, but I got a little focused during my MDS days. There is a difference between doing your MDS immediately, either, yeah, doing your MDS immediately after BDS and doing your MDS 4 or 5 years after your BDS. This is a big difference. You must be remembering during our 12th standard exams, you would read that big books, within a night. because there it is only intake. Okay, there's a chip in the brain which takes all the information, doesn't process it, puts directly onto the paper. That's the thing
Short
here.
term memory.
Exactly. You don't carry the concepts. You believe the concepts. You don't investigate whether the concepts are right or wrong. A square, a plus b the whole square is a square, b square plus 2ab. That is it. Why? No one questions. So that's how it is. That's how it's in BDS also. There's no questioning. How many people ask their teachers why this happens? I will tell you a joke. During my first year of physiology, there was one term called obliterate. So I
Yes.
asked my roommate, "ये obliterate क्या होता है रे?" He said, "Obliterate मतलब बड़ा होना." So till final year, I always thought obliterate was getting bigger. Okay. So in third year, then third and final year, I realized obliterate is getting smaller. So I told him, "अबे तूने तो ऐसा बताया, obliterate is getting bigger." He said, "पास तो हो गया ना तू." Uh, so that's how it is. You take as it is. You don't investigate, you don't question, you take it
The
up.
only goal is to pass.
Yeah. And we see students who pass BDS and come into MDS. One thing good in them is they're open, okay, open to discuss because they don't have a clutter in the head. But they're not knowledge driven, which they will be during 3 years of their MDS. For us, what happened is that 5 years between UG and PG, logic got better. So nothing we would accept just like that. Why? So it was very difficult for me, to get through one chapter during a seminar because I would sit with 4 books and see what the reasons are. People used to say, "Why are you doing all this? इधर से कॉपी कर, इधर से पेस्ट कर और सेमिनार खत्म करो." My bosses, oh man, they used to say 6 items on a slide. It can be pictures or lines. Only 6, and you have to talk extempore. So there's a guide. My guide is in Goa. Dr. Wagle he was a clinician, okay, very good clinician, and he was associated with lots of companies as the key opinion leader. So he's saying, "See, now I have to prepare you for that." So 6 things on a slide. Rest the concept should be in your head. So that logic hurted a lot, but it's good. We knew a lot of things, and we realized that 5 years we were doing nonsense. Okay, there's much more to it. So that 3 years of MDS made me a little focused. Okay, and since I've read the concepts to the last detail, it made me a better clinician, better researcher. And during my post graduation, there were around 6 PGs more, 8 PGs more. All of them were crazy, and some of them were so young. So I used to tell them, when I did my BDS, you're still in your nappies. But it was a very good crowd, very young, middle age, and people who were married. I was married when I did my MDS. So different set of people. The way everyone used to think was different, and my bosses were even crazier. So it made a very good team. You should have crazy people, you should have open minds, you should have minds who are reading. You know, so we used to do stupid things, innovative kind of research approaches. So we did one pulp regeneration case in our second year. Everyone was making fun of it when we did that, because that time India didn't have that kind of regenerative approaches. So and there was one colleague of mine, Dr. Hemlata, she was also equally crazy. So we did those cases. People started recognizing when we got them published in IEJ, which is at that now also it's the top endo journal in the world.
Yes.
So that's how the journey started. And actually, that 5 years of gap helped me to become a better clinician and a better researcher because knowledge goes up. Most parts of the world, they have that prerequisite of having 2 years experience after BDS.
Yes.
Only in India, we just jump, from
Study
BDS
after
to
study.
yeah, study after study,
Uh,
and get
Understood.
sees you also here.
Yes.
Outside, they see a lot of things. They see whether you got publications, you worked with clinicians. They ask you for reference letters, India, there's nothing. You pay your fees, you do your exam, get through your NEET, and you are there.
Understood.
Yeah.
So, but you were interested in clinical initially when you were working as a BDS student also. And how did you
Yes.
decide to get into PhD after that? Well, you didn't get bored after MDS. How did that continuity of studying happen, and how that shift towards research happened?
um, I always tell people you should study so much that people don't question you. There shouldn't be anyone question you. Oh, your knowledge level or your knowledge base is low. That was one motivation to do my PhD. So I thought I could again focus on research careers. Academic career, I knew, okay, now I can do it. I just have to keep upgrading. And my mentors used to tell me, see, in the dental industry or the dental academic sector, there are only two things which can help you. One is becoming academically very, very strong. So you get your credentials up. I know you can do a PhD without any pain in India, but it's for your good, isn't it? You want to do your PhD right, or you want to just get a PhD. So I always wanted to do my PhD right. Okay. And the second thing is you have to be very humble in uh, if you want a good growth. You cannot have a big ego. You cannot have that big heads and all. So we always say when you lift your leg to walk, there is enough space for someone to sneak in. Okay, so you should have your feet grounded. Uh, that is one thing I learned from my mentors, like getting academically strong, knowing your basics right, and then being humble, talking to people whom people say, "Oh, isko to kuch nahi aata hai." My one of my teachers used to tell me, if a useless speaker is speaking, I'm really sorry to say that, you should stand and watch. There'll be at least one point you take away from that lecture. Okay. A lot of people in India use this, "Uta gada hai." Okay. Listening to a donkey also will teach you how to brake. So that's,
Obviously.
yeah. So listening to people is very, very important. I always talk to people who are very young, undergraduates, a lot of undergraduates I talk to. So that focus PhD gave me, okay, during those 5 years I took to finish my PhD. It's not easy to do a PhD in India because not big grants, not big support. You have to gather your own finances,
Resources.
funds, resources. Yes, lots of companies have helped me in doing that. But it's good. Now also I keep saying I have to do something. My son says, "When are you going to stop studying?"
You'll think you're competing with him, or you're setting
I
the bar too high for him.
uh, he tells me, I'm going to do my engineering 4 years. Don't expect me to do that blah blah PhD. So they'll learn. Even I was like him when I was in dental college, not focused. You can be focused at that point of time. That youth exuberance. And if you are too focused in your BDS, probably you will have no stories to tell when you are 50 years old.
You'll not have friends to sit around with at that point of time.
Exactly, exactly. So I was always happy. I was never bragging, oh, I'm not getting my MDS, I'm not getting this. So that helped me.
Understood. But still, you got into research at a time in dentistry where research and manufacturing in India in dental instruments were not spoken about.
Right.
Even today, most of our things in a dental clinic are
Mm,
imported. Where do
right.
you see this shift in research and manufacturing in India? Do you think it will shift towards India? Before you listen to that answer, if you're enjoying this entire interaction, please do not forget to hit the like button below. And if you want to listen to such interesting interviews, do not forget to subscribe to our channel.
No, it will shift. In manufacturing, you need two things. You need a technology, which either you transfer it from some other company abroad or some other researcher abroad, or you create your own technology, indigenous kind of technology, which requires academia and industry go hand in hand. This is what my association with Privist has proved. Since 2012, we were with them, and we were excited because some of the research ideas we were giving them could be translated to the market. Otherwise, I keep telling, like academic research and industrial research is a complete different cup of tea. You know, in academic research, even we have published papers say, okay, we make 200 grams of material, say glass ionomer, 200 grams, 150 grams, and some of the papers say 50 grams of bone graft material. So, and we publish a paper with the shapes on, with the dissolution times, with the capabilities and everything. But at the end, scaling that 50 grams to 2 kilos is a big thing. Okay. Different chemicals. You can't use chemicals bought from big companies like Sigma Aldrich. 1 gram, 6,000 rupees. You have to look at commercial sources. Okay. And then get everything on. And then, like academics, industry does not wait. It has its own deadlines. It has its own timelines to keep. You know, so it'll say, okay, for development 2 years, for clinical evaluation 1 year, 3 years, the market, the product should be in the market. That kind. So that helped me, staying in touch with the industry right from 2012 when I was doing my research kind of thing in Pravara. At the same point of time, coming to the industrial side, we used to visit Jammu quite often, use the facilities, try to make something. Okay, half of the things don't happen, but the other half happen. So it's a good time for the dental industry if you're developing things. Now we get calls from abroad saying that, oh, why don't you start a joint venture with us in this country, in that country? That's because they know technology is here, right? Now the Indian government is also pushing it hard. They're not allowing imports from certain countries. I don't name you know
Yeah.
better. Certain countries. So in adversity, Indians are the best because basically we are jugadus. I call this thing. So we don't have access. So we have to do something to get technology in, hook or crook. So we starve, we do things, we manage things, we get things, we fail, but one day we will do it. So new technology coming into the market, it will take good 2 to 3 years or 4 years time. Okay. But they are coming out. We never had instrument manufacturing in India. Now, since 2 years, the people manufacturing instruments, where did the technology come from? Because they had to starve, they had to do it. Pakistan borders closed down. No instruments are coming from. All the instruments, come from Pakistan.
Yes.
Even the US instruments go from Sialkot.
Yes.
Uh, so now we're not getting from that side. So we have to do our own. We have expertise in CNC machines in India. A lot of countries we export CNC machines. We have people to design instruments here, but we are not able to collect all these minds at one place. They don't collaborate. The word collaborate is a very difficult term in India. Academician sits in one corner, doesn't want to collaborate. Industry sits in the other corner, they don't want to collaborate, which is a big thing in other countries. Always the industry and academia work together. There's a clause when you're doing your job, you should not get into clinical practice. You should not get into businesses. Why? Why an academician should not get into clinical practice? Why he should not get into businesses? Abroad, there are incubation centers within the university. Now, India has also started incubation centers in universities where there are spin offs. Like you can have a startup inside the university, put up your idea, you will have seed funding from 50 lakhs to 1.5 crores. That's good enough to get a
To
product
start.
to start. And no one looks at IITs and all this, they have a list of transfers on them, technologies to transfer. Take their help, talk to them, get some technology out, work together, academicians and the industry, because industry has got immense potential because they have big machines where you can do your trials. You can't buy a 50 lakh machine in academia, but the industry has it. So use them as well. Okay, you can always say, okay, I make this for you. I get a royalty of around 5 or 10%. Lifetime, you don't need to do anything. Sit and take the royalty, isn't it? So that connections were better for me, and I advise all the academicians, like, have connections with the industry, talk to them, and then look at translation from part one, right? So once this happens, then we'll see more products coming in.
Understood. Basically, they need to move from only ideation to even execution. Now we are just
Yeah,
ideating and thinking this will work, but will
yeah.
it work in a large scale is something which we need to put in more effort in.
10% of, not even 10%, 5% of Indian dental patents go to translation.
Understood.
Good to put it on your CV, have one patent, two patent, three patent. That's it. Doesn't make a huge difference. So once this happens, it's big time for medical devices in India. And for people who don't know, till 2019, dental material could be imported from anywhere if it contains anything arsenic, lead. It wouldn't make any difference because we never had a regulation in India. It was not under drugs. It was not under anything. You can just buy material from, example, from China or somewhere, repack it in India with your own manufacturing address, and no one will question you. But now we have a regulation. Every This year it starts, 2021. Every product which is coming into the market needs a regulatory clearance. You should have a document where you say how you designed it, how you manufactured it, how you validated your manufacture. Like, if you're making 50 grams material, you have to validate it thrice. If you're getting the same results, that means your process is correct. And then you have to scale it up to 5 kilos or 10 kilos. Again, you have to validate all these documents. You have to submit to the CDSEO, that is the controller in India. Okay, and we call them design documents. And then you have to have a quality management program. So now on, be sure that what dental materials you're getting from India are going to be of some quality. Until there is a regulation, nothing is going to happen. Why I'm telling you this is, now there's a big window which is open for dentists who are saying there are no jobs. Um, this is called regulatory compliance industry, where you have to do clinical research, clinical investigations, clinical evaluations, do systematic reviews, um, and then file, because these documents are required for registration of medical devices, that is dental materials or implants, whatever it is in
Nice.
India. So that's a big market, and probably there are only less than 2% of dentists in this arena. Um, I have a team of 4 people. Um, we have 3 MDs, and we have one BDS girl who is into regulatory affairs, and then we have PhDs in the R&D department who take care of the regulatory work also. So we are employing. So every company in India has to employ now. Okay, dentists.
Understood.
Even at the marketing area, in 2013 or 14, when we were on one of these stalls uh, for a dental company, people used to call me and say, "You're an endodontist. Why are you standing on a stall? It's not great." You go to IDS Germany, every stall has got 4 dentists standing, isn't it? Because the
Because dentists
industry,
understand dentist products. I would be more
exactly.
comfortable buying from a dentist than from someone who just comes and tells me, "So ye use karo, this works well."
Yeah,
He
yeah,
doesn't know even the difference between a class 1 or a class 2 or a composite and amalgam. And he
exactly. He
tells
doesn't understand.
me which is the best material. I would prefer a dentist telling that.
Yeah, they're basically the management people. Okay, they are like parrots. I'm saying this on this thing. I'm not saying it's bad. If I
But it
am,
will change eventually.
no, it's not their strength, isn't it? They are not clinicians. They are not scientific people. Okay, their strength is marketing. Their strength is sales. So they tend to get as much information from people like us, and then they have to tell dentists, okay, this is it. This is how it works. Okay, they are doing their best.
Understood.
But if there is a query which is beyond, so then the importance of a dentist comes in. So every company will take dentists, okay, who represents their scientific team, who will be answering queries of fellow dentists, right? I can always sell a product to you more easily than I send a management guy to you, isn't it?
Yes. So now that we are talking about jobs, if someone is
Mhm.
interested in getting into clinical research, like how you have done,
Right,
the research
right.
aspect, not just the documentation part, would you
Mhm.
advise him to do your route map, that's do BDS, MDS, PhD, or can they directly get into after BDS? What would you suggest?
They can do it either ways. There's no need to do a PhD if you want to get into hardcore research. It is your passion which drives you. But a lot of people I get calls from, they say, "Sir, PhD karna hai, topic do." If I'm giving you a topic, then what's the thing? You're not focused. Uh, you don't know what you want to do in life. I'm being very honest here.
Understood.
So yeah, so you should see, okay, I'm going to do my PhD, my research work, which area I'm going to do, that you should decide. Okay, for example, perio, you're a periodontist, that's why I'm taking a perio
Yeah.
thing. Okay, I want to work on bone grafts. Okay, as a BDS, I want to work on bone grafts. So you should look at options, like how much do I need to know or read about bone grafts now. So get your homework done, read about that. Okay, meet people who are working in that area for a period of time, different sectors. Talk to periodontists. Talk to people in the regenerative sector, like Manipal has got a regenerative course. Go talk to them. Get your background straight. Work with any research institute as a research assistant. People don't want to work, अरे आज बीडीएस खत्म हो गया, कल से मुझे है ना पीएचडी लेना है कैलिफोर्निया से. It's not possible. You'll not get into that. So you have to do your background work,
The
do
initial
your
slog
study.
and grind is important.
Yeah, of course, you have to give time. You can't directly jump in. How much of research do we teach in undergraduation? Nothing. Our undergraduate research is nothing, to be very honest. Nowadays, yes, I have a few students who have done great jobs in undergraduate because they want to go abroad. They want to take admissions, DDS or MSc in US, which requires some paper publications, right? So they do some undergraduate research. But in India, you don't need all this.
Understood.
MDS you want to do, you can just go without an interview, just give your exam and pass and get into MDS. The requirement is not there, so people are not focused. So they do two short-term studies. The curriculum should say BDS should have at least one short-term study in their internship so that they're oriented to research.
So your
Not
suggestion for those who want to get into research after BDS is they have to first meet everyone in the field. They have to understand how the industrial system works. If they're
Yeah,
having a topic in their mind, they have to go and meet those people related to it. Then maybe get
right.
a job as research assistant. This all they
Yes,
need to do just because since they have not had enough exposure during the BDS, basically.
exactly. No exposure, so you have to build the exposure.
Understood.
Right. Even if you see, some people will not pay you also, but that's okay. That's the grind you have to do because you have a dream to go through, you have to dream to fulfill. So that
Understood.
do your grind, initial grind, and it will work, you know. See, I see people sitting, okay, if you can edit these slides, edit it. People sitting and saying there are no jobs for BDS, isn't it?
Yes, that
Uh,
is a common cry.
it's a common cry. Someone put it on Facebook. Oh, I don't have a job after my postgrad in endo. I said, I'll give you a job. You'll get 40,000 rupees, a chauffeur driven car. Okay. But you have to shift to a town. Okay. We'll give you a clinic. 50% of the clinic money you keep, 50% we keep. They don't want to do it. If a person wants to stay in Mumbai and make that kind of money and
You have to
expect
go where the
people to,
jobs are and you have to put in the effort which is required. You can't
exactly.
sit where you are and expect the job and the money to come to you, basically.
Yes, yes. There is nothing called no jobs. You have to search for your jobs, you'll get your job. See,
Understood.
government did promise us that they'll give us jobs when we did our BDS. We took it as an option. So now we have to see what options do we have to get that money,
Understood.
researcher, academician, or traveling, going to other countries, doing systematic reviews associated with universities, doing clinical research. There's lots of avenues to do. I'm not a big motivational guru here, but there's so many options you can, you know,
Yes,
take up.
understood. Understood, sir. So it's really nice that you have taken out time and come and give us a brief view about your entire journey and how young dentists can emulate what you have done. You have also told there are two routes. One, they can take the route you have taken, that's do BDS, MDS, PhD, and then slowly and steadily streamline themselves into research.
Mhm.
Others who are not keen on doing this long route can directly think about doing it after BDS, but have to put in the hours. That is, they need to go to the entire grind. They need to find what they're interested in, find the people they are interested to work with,
Mhm.
and then get into the system. Thanks a lot, sir, for taking out your
Yeah.
time and joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. It was fantastic speaking to you.
Thank you, sir.